party rockers? It's the Amplified Man. Holla at your boy B, motherfucking C. This is Amplified Q&A, a chance where I get to talk with you guys and go over some of your questions for me. One of the rare opportunities during the week I get to interact with you guys, which is why I love doing these videos. There's a lot going on right now with the Amplified Man. I got a big audition coming up Monday, so I'm trying to memorize just a ton of dialogue for this audition on Monday. We got Tyler's Day 30 shooting up again next month, end of next month into May, for the second half of Tyler's Day 30. My first movie that I'm directing, and of course, starring in, because the Amplified Man is the star of the show, always. We've been hitting the gym nonstop, man. We've been doing 2-a-days up in the gym, because spring and summer's coming up, man. Gotta look your best. And so I'm wiping myself out, man. 3-4 hours of sleep a night. I'm pumping these videos out for you guys and keeping this channel strong. So the Amplified Man's doing a lot, but there's no way I was going to miss Amplified Q&A, even if it's just a half an hour, man. I want to talk with you guys, definitely. More than targeted questions, I think I'm going to go over, because it is WrestleMania season. There is a lot of concerns, obviously, and questions from the masses. So I think I'm going to go over more broad questions that I know a lot of you guys are asking me already and want to ask me. So I think that's what I'm going to kind of do in this video. More broad questions, more than just narrowed in questions from just individuals. On this video, we're going to go more broad. And we're going to go over the questions that I think a lot of people are asking right now heading into WrestleMania. I want to start off with The Undertaker. Which Undertaker do we get at WrestleMania? Is it going to be the Deadman, or is it going to be the American BadA, Biker Taker? And the thing, guys, is I feel, honestly, as much as I would love to see in the year 2050, WrestleMania fucking 75, I would love to see, obviously that would be, what would that be? 2016, 18... Fucking, okay, so that's 2058, 60, whatever the fuck, man. I would like to see in the year 3000, if I was still up and kicking. If it was WrestleMania 75 or WrestleMania 100, I would love to see the Deadman. The visuals, the sounds, just watching The Undertaker come down to the ring. I don't care if it takes a half an hour. I don't care if it takes a half an hour after the match for him to go back up the ramp. You dedicate 1 hour to just The Undertaker walking. I'm okay with it. And I told you guys that, man. I would love to see The Undertaker at WrestleMania 50. Still just doing squash matches, man. Just go out there, do a punch, do a kick, tombstone his opponent, and then he walks back, man. He could be fucking 70 years old. I don't give a fuck. But I feel that this year, everything fell perfectly into place, that I don't see any other way that the American BadA, the Biker Taker, doesn't show up to face John Cena at WrestleMania. I don't see how you can go any other way. And I say this, guys, because if you look at how the Deadman left WrestleMania 33, taking the L to Roman Reigns, passing the torch over to Roman Reigns, as many before Undertaker has tried to do, it just hasn't worked. But he did the deed to the younger talent, the talent that's going to come up and be there for the next 5, 10, maybe even 15 years. And he left everything in the ring, everything he had, or so the story told, right? And he also left everything literally that he had, his coat, his hat, everything that made the Deadman. He left it in the middle of the ring, and he walked up that ramp for the last time. And for the last year, nobody knew if he was actually retired or not. 50% of the audience thought, yeah, he's done. The other 50% said, no, I think he's got more in him. I don't think he ever officially retired. And now this brings us to this year. 1 year later, Kid Rock is being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Kid Rock did the music for the American BadA, Biker Taker. I think the story is told beautifully that the Deadman is gone from professional wrestling as far as competing. Like, he left it all in the ring. He lost to the newer talent. He took the L. He passed the torch. He left literally everything in the middle of the ring, and he walked off. In fact, I don't even think he went all the way. I think didn't the staging open up on the rampway and he actually went like from down under? That was fucking beautiful. The last you see of The Undertaker is him just descending into who knows where. Hell? Into eternal damnation? Who knows? But he descended into the abyss. Goodbye, Undertaker, man. Again, as much as I would love to see him at WrestleMania fucking 100, the year 3000, I would love to see The Undertaker, the Deadman, coming down to the ring. As much as I would love to see it, the story is told epically right now that the Deadman had his last match, but the American Badass is coming back to take on John Cena. And Kid Rock, who is going to be there for the roll call at WrestleMania because 2 nights before at the Hall of Fame, he's being inducted. So anyone who's inducted into the Hall of Fame, they show up at WrestleMania for a special shout out on the staging area. Kid Rock's going to be there. The Deadman is all but gone, and he should be as of now because, again, the story is told beautifully. You could bring him back in the future, I guess, if the story is good enough. But as far as competing, have Kid Rock go out there. He could do his cowboy song or he could do the Rollin' Rollin'. Undertaker kind of had both. I think the Rollin' 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 song suits and is best for The Undertaker. That was his real badass biker taker music. So you have Kid Rock play The Undertaker out to the ring against John Cena, and Undertaker is on his bike. A badass visual. It doesn't take... You already have a stacked card that's going to take up a lot of time. So this Undertaker entrance will be just a couple of minutes because he's going to ride that son of a bitch to the ring. And I don't have him losing against John Cena because unlike Roman Reigns or anyone else for the Deadman, this isn't up-and-coming talent. This isn't passing the torch to anybody. Yes, John Cena's going to be there the next couple of years as a part-timer, definitely. But that's all. As a part-timer, the next couple of years. Undertaker, I think, is much more fitting to win this match. Deadman already lost, and he went into the abyss. The American Badass, for his official retirement, should go off with a bang, should go off with a victory. I think The Undertaker, and I don't want to spoil my own amplified booking here, but I see The Undertaker winning this match against John Cena. And the crowd gets a chance to show them their adulation for him and their respect for him. And I would even have Biker Taker grab the microphone and say a few words on the microphone, thanking the crowd, so the crowd can show its respect and thank The Undertaker once more. And when it's all said and done, The Undertaker gets on his bike, takes one last hoorah, man, one last spin, one last ride around ringside on his bike, showing his respect for the fans, letting the fans show their respect for him, and then he literally rides off into the sunset. Undertaker rides off on his bike. Last you've seen of the American Badass now. The career is now over, and it went off the right way. Undertaker rides off into the sunset. You would get the best of both worlds. Storyline-wise, you got to write off The Undertaker in the best ways possible. He loses in the middle of the ring at 33 because he gave it everything he had and maybe he just doesn't have it anymore. And the younger talent has finally caught up to him. And the hat and the fucking gloves, the coat, they're all left in the middle of the ring. And he goes to walk off and all of a sudden he just descends into the abyss. And then the following year, the American Badass, the closest to the real person of who The Undertaker is, Mark Calloway. He comes out on his bike. He gets the job done against another wily old veteran, John Cena. He gets the victory. He goes out the right way. He still has it. And he takes one last ride, and he literally rides off into the sunset, man. He rides off knowing that he came, he saw, he conquered. Vedi Vedi Vici. He came, he saw, he conquered the WWE for the last 3 decades. That's how you book The Undertaker, man. I'll say it a millionth time, and I'll say it a million more times going forward the next few weeks, I'm sure, to anybody I talk to about The Undertaker. I would love to see the Deadman, always. But the story begs for the American Badass. In all the right pieces, with Kid Rock and the Deadman already basically going into the abyss. all the right pieces are in play. Let's bring Mark Calloway out. The Undertaker, the Biker, the American Badass. It's the way I go with it. The next question, I'm sure on everybody's mind, is AJ Styles going to be able to take on Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania? Because it is true, guys. AJ Styles does have an undisclosed injury on his leg. They're not really giving too many details about it. It looks like something that they are just going to try to rest and rehab, which is a good thing. That means it must be more of a compound injury and not more secluded, because if it was secluded, you could be looking at like a fractured ankle or something like that. I highly doubt it's anything like that. Looks like a little bit of a compound injury, but that could still keep him out. I'm sure all of us as pro wrestling fans, collectively, our hearts sank when we heard the news because we didn't know what was up. We just knew that that was the one dream match we wanted to see since Nakamura got up to the main roster, and it was the one match that Vince McMahon was actually going to give us. He was going to allow us that match when none of us thought Vince McMahon would give us that match. And here we are, just a few weeks away. It's actually going to happen. You had a feeling like this can't go that right? Something has to go wrong here. We wanted this match for so long. Vince is actually giving it to us. It's for the championship. Too much is going right. Something wrong has to happen, right? Something bad has to happen here. And then all of a sudden, AJ Styles gets injured. And we were like, yep, I knew it was too good to be true. But again, guys, it looks like AJ Styles and WWE's medical staff, they're going to try to rest and rehab this. You will not see AJ Styles compete in the next couple of SmackDowns. He is going to continue to rest it just like he did in Madison Square Garden when they played the attack angle with Zayn and Owens. So AJ Styles couldn't even compete at Madison Square Garden. This past Tuesday, you saw AJ Styles at the commentary booth not competing. They're going to keep him off his feet as far as compete-wise. And they're going to try to rest and rehab this. AJ Styles' latest interview that he did as a promotional tour, he was asked about his WrestleMania match and if he was going to be able to compete. And AJ Styles says, even if you cut off my leg, I'm showing up to WrestleMania to take on Shinsuke. I'm not missing this match. I will be there. That was from AJ Styles' mouth. He's talking about cut off his leg. He's still wrestling Shinsuke. Nobody is going to tell him otherwise. So, if you guys are directing the question at me, yes, it is a legit injury, and yes, I fully expect AJ Styles to show up at WrestleMania. Triple H was asked about this in his latest interview, and he said not only does WWE have a plan B, they have a plan C, just in case Styles cannot compete. This is something AJ Styles has worked his whole life for. One of, if not the main event at WrestleMania for the championship against an opponent like Nakamura, who he respects probably more than anyone in that locker room because of their New Japan days. This is the match. This is the dream match for AJ Styles as well, not just the fans. For him to get an injury a few weeks before and have to miss that match would be like taking the breath away from AJ Styles, taking the life away from AJ Styles. It goes back to the Daniel Bryan situation. Yes, they have a wife, a kid. AJ Styles, I think, has more than one kid. They have families at home. They have a personal life. But when you get to a certain point in your career and you worked your ass off, everything you've ever done in your career for this one moment, this one opportunity, and it's about to be taken away, that becomes their life. That is why we love Daniel Bryan in that ring, and Sasha Banks and AJ Styles, because those are three performers that when they're in that ring, you see the passion they have for this. You see that they don't care about just competing in front of 50,000, 75,000, or 100,000 people, that they could be competing in front of 50, 75, and 100 people, and they would be just fine doing it as long as they get to go out there and wrestle. And that's why I always said Sasha Banks, Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, those are three competitors. You cannot say that about everybody. You cannot say that when you watch everybody in that ring that the passion is just oozing out of them. The passion is just there night after night, and that they're giving their bodies up and putting them on the line every single night, whether it's a main event at a pay-per-view or a house show. They are going to give you everything in their body and their soul, every performance. That's Bryan, that's Banks, that's Styles. And you cannot tell AJ Styles a few weeks before WrestleMania, sorry, man, this injury is going to keep you out, because AJ Styles will walk on 2 numb legs. Not even feeling his legs, Styles will go out there and give you a 45-minute classic. It's the way he is. So what I'm saying to you guys is the only way that AJ Styles misses this match is by WWE and Triple H especially, and the head medical personnel going to him and saying, we feel it is best if you do not compete. In which AJ Styles, I truly feel, guys, AJ Styles would leave the company at that point. Because it's like Daniel Bryan. The passion Bryan has. You guys remember that match Bryan had where Triple H was in the back and had to stop the match because he felt Daniel Bryan was too injured to keep going. That's a true story. You can Google it. And Daniel Bryan was on the outside for a little long. He was a little bit injured, but he could finish the match. And he told the ref, don't call it, I'm going to finish. Because Daniel Bryan comes from a place where you finish what you started. And Triple H, why he was so pissed at Triple H is because Triple H came from that same mold. Finishing a match with what? Blown out quads. And Triple H still finished his match. And here he is in the back. Now that he has a headset on, he's going to call the finish to Daniel Bryan's matches. And Daniel Bryan went to the back after Triple H called that match. And Daniel Bryan flipped out on Triple H. Numerous wrestlers that were around in that area at the time said it was a blow-up. And they've never even seen anybody go toe-to-toe with Triple H like that. That's how passionate Daniel Bryan was. And Bryan went on record and said he almost walked out that night, never to return. That's how pissed off he was. I think if you take this away from AJ Styles, without AJ Styles' blessing, I think that's the last you've seen of AJ Styles. And I don't think WWE's ready to do that. I understand the performers and the human beings come before the performances, and the human being comes before the superstar of WWE. But there comes a point in time where the human being and the superstar, they're one person at that point. And the professional life of this person, of this superstar, meshes with the personal life, and it becomes one. And the professional becomes just as important as the personal life. This is one of those moments, this WrestleMania moment for AJ Styles. I don't think anybody in the world can take that away from him, because I don't think AJ Styles is going to allow it. AJ Styles shows up to WrestleMania. He drops the title. He drops the strap to Shinsuke Nakamura. Next up, we'll talk a little Hulk Hogan. Everybody wants to know, is Hulk Hogan actually going to show up for WrestleMania 34? I thought it was going to be WrestleMania 35 because WrestleMania 1 was in Madison Square Garden. Here we are for the 35th anniversary in New York, New Jersey, home for Hulk Hogan. So I thought definitely by WrestleMania 35 you're going to see Hulk Hogan. It looks like they are going to fast-track this, though. WWE was recently contacted about if they've had any talks with Hulk Hogan, because Hillbilly Jim has come public and said he wants Hulk Hogan to induct him into the Hall of Fame. So people have been trying to contact WWE. Hey, is Hulk Hogan really going to do this? Is he going to come back? WWE made a public statement saying, yes, it is true. We've been in contact with Terry Bollea, Hulk Hogan, for the last several weeks. The timeline adds up. They contacted Hillbilly Jim the last several weeks to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And you know that when they contacted Hillbilly Jim, they asked him for his short list of people that he wanted to have induct him into the Hall of Fame. You know Hulk Hogan was on that list. So WWE probably got that list and made sure that all their ducks were covered in a row. And that they went through every person on that list and made sure that they were available for Hillbilly Jim's final decision. And that adds up because, again, WWE said they have been in contact with Terry Bollea. So, what I see happening here, guys, is Hulk Hogan not only will be a part of WrestleMania 35 in some way, but I think you're going to hear, don't be surprised anyway, if you hear the announcement that Hulk Hogan is going to be a part of WrestleMania 34 this year, in just a few weeks. And I wouldn't be surprised if he is inducting Hillbilly Jim into the Hall of Fame. I wouldn't be surprised if they keep him around as not just an ambassador to WWE behind the scenes, but if he shows up to be like the next general manager of SmackDown, because they don't have a general manager anymore. Daniel Bryan's going back to compete. And Shane McMahon, as commissioner, has relinquished all of his duties. So they have nobody in power anymore. I think what you're going to see is maybe somebody like Hulk Hogan show up and be the general manager, or some type of on-air talent. Because he still has another year or two of something good in him before he has to just be an ambassador. Even though he's not that young Hulk Hogan anymore, he's still the immortal fucking Hulk Hogan, man. You look at this guy and he still has that presence. He can still cut a promo. He still has the voice. He still has the presence. He still has the mannerisms. He's still the Hulk Hogan that I grew up fucking just honestly idolizing. Him and the Ultimate Warrior and the Macho Man Randy Savage. Anytime that I get a chance to see them up on my TV on a WWE show, I'm going to take it. So it'll be cool, man, to get him back. And again, a year earlier, where we can still get the good out of Hulk Hogan, whatever is left in him, in his tank, I'll take it. Again, that doesn't mean wrestling, guys. I know Hulk Hogan would love to wrestle in that ring. I don't think necessarily he's going to be putting on 5-10 minute matches. I mean, last I saw, walking is an issue for Hulk Hogan. But don't be surprised if he throws a big boot and some punches and delivers some epic old school Hulk Hogan promos. Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. Because that's the shit we all want to see, right? That's what we love in pro wrestling, man. As pro wrestling fans, we love nostalgia. Obviously, we don't expect a 60 or 70-year-old man to go out there and give you 10, 15-minute classics. Can you even have a classic in 10 or 15 minutes? Well, if you're Sasha Banks, AJ Styles, or Daniel Bryan, you probably could. But you're not going to go out there and give half an hour, 45-minute classics as Hulk Hogan. No. But go out there. Give the boot. Give some fucking, throw off some bows. Give a promo. Us wrestling fans are happy, man. You know, we got to see our stars in there. The people we grew up with still doing their thing. That's epic. So I do expect Hulk Hogan to be a part, not just of WrestleMania 35. Don't be surprised if he's at 34. I want to close this AMP Q&A out with just saying, isn't it funny how now news is breaking out? Everybody's in an uproar. Oh, wow, it looks like Nia Jax is actually going to win the championship and eventually drop it to Ronda Rousey. And then Rousey is going to take on Asuka at WrestleMania 35, possibly even the main event of WrestleMania 35. And Ronda will be undefeated, and Asuka will be undefeated, and they'll both have championships. All this news breaking in the last 24 hours when, if you watch this channel religiously, you guys know I've said for over a month now, that is where they're going with this. Again, you don't even need to flutter to every different dirt sheet or any other fucking YouTube show or podcast or news source. All you have to do is keep it here on the BC Amplified channel, guys, because not only do I see exactly what's going on, but I research my shit. I broke this shit weeks ago that's where they're going. It's undefeated versus undefeated. It's champion versus champion. It's Asuka versus Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 35. I think the dirt sheets in these news sources, in these podcasters, I think they either watch me or should be watching me because they're weeks behind. It's honestly laughable that I see these type of news stories breaking out as actual news stories when I've just been saying it all along. And I see it time and time again. It amazes me because, again, they do this as a full-time job. This is their full-time career. And I do this as a hobby. And I'm running circles around them as a hobby. I'm so much better than all of them. And these clowns continue to try to act like they know what they're talking about and know what they're saying. They don't have a fucking clue. Because I'm the only one using common sense with actual factual information. It's obvious. If you did that weeks ago, you would have came to the conclusion of where WWE was going. It was Asuka, it was Ronda, it was strap for strap, it was streak for streak, and it was at WrestleMania 35, and that's going to be a candidate for the main event. That's why I told you guys that weeks ago. And now all of a sudden, everyone's catching on. Now everyone sees what might be happening. Oh, wait a second. BC's right. You think? Again, they're doing it as a job, as a career. I'm doing it as a hobby. I should not be the one that has more information. I should not be the most knowledgeable one in the room. I should not be the one using the most common sense because I have a million other things that I'm doing in this world. Yet I am. Week after week, month after month, this whole last year, I am the most knowledgeable one on this platform in the pro wrestling fucking community. And I don't necessarily want to be. I want to be able to go to other people and be like, hey, what do you know? Or what are you thinking? When people are just dumb as fuck, dumb as rocks, and they don't want to use common sense, they don't want to do the research, what am I to do? Exactly what I'm doing now. I created this channel. I dish out not just review reactions, but I have to make these Q&As to give you guys my thoughts and what I'm hearing. I give you guys other videos like Weekend Update. I do this so the real shit is getting out there to you guys. Because I cannot put up with this bullshit from other people anymore, man. Because it is a bullshit. It's a bunch of fucking yappity yap yap blah blah blah. No substance. The fuck are you even talking about? When I listen to some of these other motherfuckers, I'm thinking, what are you talking about? Shut the fuck up. You just want to hear yourself talk. And it's making me fucking nauseous. Everyone just calm down, relax, sit down, get yourself a nice cold one, a bite to eat. Listen to the Amplified, man. That's all you need in your life. Alright, you watch the show, you listen to the Amplified, man. We go about our business. Fucking A. Don't overcomplicate it. Amplified man's cashing the fuck out. Kick ass this weekend, guys. Much love and respect. I got dialogue to fucking memorize. I got a movie to film. I gotta hit up the gym. I gotta get this video out. I'm gonna do all that. All I need you guys to do is kick this weekend's ass. I'll see you guys Tuesday for the Raw Review reaction video. It's WrestleMania season in high gear. We're a couple weeks away, so Monday Night Raw has to bring it Monday. There's no more mulligans. It has to bring it. So it should be a fun video on Tuesday. We're hoping. For now, guys, we'll check you.